Okay. Okay, now 5 minutes ahead of the service, I'm showing the video about today's memorial service. That is interesting you about after death, the world after death, for 5 minutes beforehand for the service.
There are some who leave their bodies swiftly on the same day they die. But many others do not recognize that they have passed away. They remain inside their bodies for a while, continuing to feel ill as they did before dying. When the wake or funeral begins, the dead may see their own picture or coffin on display and say, "Come on, please stop this nonsense. I don't want to die yet." Though in reality, they are already dead. During this time, their soul repeatedly leaves and re-enters the body. Human beings have a silver cord, a very fine thread that stretches from the back of the head, which connects the soul and the body. For example, some people experience astral travel, which the soul leaves the body without dying. In this case, the fine silver cord stretches to lengths of hundreds of meters or more. As long as it doesn't break, the soul can return to the body. If it is broken, however, the soul can never return to the original body. What happens to the soul after death? In Japan, people often hold a Buddhist service for the dead on the 7th day and on the 49th day after the death. During the first 7 days or so, the soul will usually remain close to its home. The dead person may attempt to speak with the family and will not readily leave the house. During the first 49 days, or approximately 2 months, the kind of world the soul will go to, and the kind of life it will lead in the other world are determined. During this time, its destination after death will be decided. Spiritually dead people must leave this world within 49 days after they die. Actually, there is a general rule that they should not remain wandering on earth for more than about 3 weeks after their death. At the very longest, they must leave after about 49 days. In less than 2 months, they will be told to let go of this world. Up until that time, they are left to do as they like. They are not yet ready to enter the other world completely, so they travel back and forth between this world and the next. They wander around and watch people in this world. They are concerned about how their funeral is proceeding, how their property is being passed on, how their company is being managed, whether their children are in harmony with each other, or whether their spouse is seeing someone else. So they linger in this world for almost 2 months. After this period, however, they are told that it's time to leave. Eventually, they will come to the river Styx. And once they have passed over this river, they will truly become dead to this world. Then they arrive at the entrance to the spirit world, or what is referred to as the astral or posthumous realm. On the opposite bank of the river Styx, they usually see a vast field of canola blossoms and other beautiful flowers, and they will find deceased relatives, their friends, and various other people welcoming them. Many people believe that they have arrived in heaven. This is not exactly heaven. It is a place where people first go after death and wait until it is determined whether they will go to heaven or hell. In the same way that people remain in this world for some time after death, they also spend a while in that realm and live as a spirit, reflecting on their lives before their final destination is decided. During this period, they are shown their whole life in the form of a movie. Or a guiding spirit may come to each of them and discuss various events that happened in their life. As there are movies today, in the next world, people's lives are often presented as a kind of movie. Sometimes it is displayed in a kind of mirror. In the old days, when screen images were less popular, it is said that they were presented with a notebook in which all the deeds on earth were listed. So their destination in the next world will finally be decided after reflecting on their life. When it makes its journey across the river Styx, it is still in a kind of limbo where the quality of the soul is not determined yet. The soul goes through the self-reflection on the life that it has led, and according to its quality, the destination on the other world is decided. So it is decided based on how you lived your life in this world. Depending on how you lived, it will be decided whether you go to heaven or to hell, or wander around in this world as lost spirits. Normally, major emotions that relate to joy, anger, sadness, and happiness determine where you belong. For instance, if you sustain happy feelings, you are more compatible with heaven. If you are full of resentment, bitterness, and anger, you are more compatible with hell. I encourage you to know at least these truths.
Right. Okay, it's time to start today's service on the last series of this book, Developmental Stages of Love. The original theory today is gonna be most difficult part that he has published. 3,000 books. Out of 3,000 books, today's part is most difficult. The top highest philosophy in it, because he was not intending this to be published at the moment. He was 25 to 28, and then this has certain date on each poems. So such as a dialectic of romantic love. About this poem that has the certain date that was written on July 21st, 1984. So before founding Happy Science, he was not religious leader, but he was a officer in trading house. And then he was working from the early morning to the late at night every day, and he was writing it. So you can see the date, and even sometimes it has morning or evening in the section, and you can see he was writing before going to the company. He was writing after going back to home. He was writing the poems because he will be religious leader in the future. So he was very ready for that. Then in this book, his whole heart was put, such as Einstein created theory of relativity in his 25 years old. Newton created in his 22 years old the law of gravitation. So in their earliest days, the most highest philosophy was created like that. This was created in his earliest days. So we are thinking of this book as most important script in Happy Science. So I'm honored to be here to hold this service in Kauai. Yeah, this is not coincidence. Love from Kauai, I'm gonna spread today to the whole world. Yeah. So let us recite the true words spoken by Buddha to start with. Before diving into the prayer, I thank you for your husband, Lori, for the beautiful flowers. You can see. I love it. Poached ginger. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, let's recite the true words spoken by Buddha, Ryuho Kawa. There used to be the light in the great universe. The light is the energy of Buddha. People can live by this energy, and Buddha's energy has made human history. It will be supplied eternally. This eternal light comes from heaven and prevails on earth. This is the light of heaven. Through the prism of Buddha, there appeared the 7 colors of rainbow, arching over in the sky. Here you can see Buddha's mercy. Yellow is the color of teaching. White is the color of saving. Red is the color of justice. Purple is the color of obedience. Blue is the color of thinking. Green is the color of harmony. Silver is the color of progress. These 7 colors help each other, and there appears Buddha land. Buddha land is shining brightly because of gathering of bodhisattvas. This is a land of love, or the land of mercy. This is a land of wisdom, or the land of teaching. Especially, this is a land of souls rest in peace. Real souls are the children of Buddha. The children of Buddha became real human beings. Real human beings have spirituality. The spirits are immortal powers. The spirits are immortal forces. The spirits are real entities. The physical bodies are the shadows of the spirits. It measures a boat sailing down the great river. The great river is a symbol of the course of lives. Each of you sails down as a small boat, so you need a boatman. If it were not for your own boatman, you surely go aground. This boatman really means your mind. If your mind makes a mistake, the boat breaks into pieces by a large rock, and you also need a bamboo pole. This pole is the meaning of the true words. When you go down the rapid stream, you need to pant in a stream, then you can change your course. The true words means the teaching of Buddha. Buddha enlightened and spoke the true words, and Buddha's teaching became a gold mine. This gold mine suggests various teachings. These are another expression of Buddha's truth. It brightens up your days. Or to put it another way, the fruits of Buddha's mercy. All of you now here, listen to me. Never lose your way, now and forever. The guiding hand has already waved. Please follow this white hand and go steadily on and on. Your lives are not limited to this world only. They have three aspects: the past, the present, the future. Your paths have already gone by, yet still your mistakes will be kept in your minds. That is the reason why you should understand other people, and you yourself should reflect on what you have done. You and others are not different. On the contrary, both are children of Buddha and brothers and sisters. Now then, love each other. Let us bring up each other, and it's time to forgive each other. This is the eternal law, which penetrates the present and the future. Yes, indeed, the light of the dark night. The dark night of this world is hell. It is also the same in another world. Since we came down to this world, the sun of the truth is scheduled to rise. Now we are watching rising sun. It will show light to the future, to invite sad people to Buddha land. Now here I command. There shall not be conflict in this world. There shall not be distrust in this world. There shall not be crime in this world. There shall not be evil spirit in this world. There shall not be the devil in the next world. Only the ideal world, utopia, shall be realized. All other people love each other, live harmoniously, believing in one another. The world is utopia. All of us could be the light of bodhisattvas, believing that the light has reality, believing that love has reality, believing that the truth has reality. These are the facts that should be conveyed. We, the light of bodhisattvas, get together, work together to keep right mind and live in tune with Buddha's words. Here we vow to do so. Right, thank you for joining again. So, diving into today's point, this service will be divided into two parts. The first half is about evil spirits, and the latter half, after listening to Master's lecture, the latter half will be the abstract philosophy about love. So that is so important and at the same time difficult. So please save your brain energy to the end. Yeah. I myself is at the same situation with you. I pray my brain is working until the end. Right, so let's go on. So first will be on the salvation of evil spirits. This is just part 1. And this was written May 13, 1984. Yeah, all right. The first bothering question for people who believe in God and who believe that God created this world is the existence of evil spirits. For those who have opened their spiritual sight, evil spirits do indeed exist. They clearly perceive that evil spirits are a group of spirits that makes up the bottom part of the spirit world. The animal spirits I have met so far include the spirits of snakes that were killed, the spirits of dogs, the spirits of pigs, and most commonly, the spirits of foxes. There's no snakes in this island, too? Yeah? Okay. You're so happy not to meet them. The characteristic of these spirits in their strong feelings of grudge, hatred, and greed. From what I observed, in many cases, snake spirits possess people with intense feelings of hatred and anger. So you are free from this spirit. Okay. In Japan, sometimes they are. So I feel it. And then sometimes our West was bound by them. So sometimes they hurt us around our West. Yeah. So you are free from that pain. So next, I have only seen 2 cases of people possessed by dog spirits. Yeah, so this is amazing. Master was describing precisely about his experience in this book only. So after that, the description was very vague or universal, but this is very concretely written like this. One of them was living a very sloppy life that reminded others of the life of a stray dog. The other had a tendency of stealing. He would always be nervously looking around and was disliked and shunned by others. The awareness of animal spirits is, of course, low. There is a considerable gap in awareness between human spirits and animal spirits, but they too are at least given a chance to achieve the minimum level of enlightenment, which is to know the difference between life and death, and to understand that happiness means living in harmony with others even in this animal world. The second category of evil spirits is the human spirits that do not know they are dead. Yeah, this is many cases. Oftentimes, people who have died from sudden death come to have an unusually strong attachment to this world of phenomena. When people who do not believe in the afterlife die from an accident or illness, they have no choice but to rely on their family members and relatives and come to live with them. So that's why we're gonna conduct the memorial service today, which may cause problems with your life, with your family life. But their interference has various negative influences, causing physical disorders or amplifying various bad feelings in their living people. They end up making the living unhappy. In many cases, these spirits have no intention of making their dearest people unhappy, but because they are so desperate to be saved, they end up disturbing the spiritual training the living people are carrying out in their physical bodies. Yeah, so the third category of evil spirits is the so-called spirits of hell. These spirits of hell are classified in various ways. For example, as in Dante's Divine Comedy in the West, maybe you read that? Or generally in the philosophy of hell in the East. So each has the idea of the hell spirits universally. I do not have enough time and space to explain it all, but the following are some of the typical spirits in hell. So these followings are the very concrete and precise description about hell spirit. So you can apply it to your life. If you have the situation like this following, you can avoid to know how they are, who they are. So there are 5 categories of the spirits in hell. The spirits of the Asura hell. These spirits have the mental traits of being belligerent, destructive, and distrustful of other human beings. They often secretly control and manipulate the people who are excessively competitive, who badmouth others, and who hurt others. So please be very careful about being the person like these traits, right? So too much competitive, badmouth others, and hurting others to avoid these situations. And the second, the spirits of the hell of lust. In today's world, sexual freedom has increased. There are various movements to promote sexual liberation, such as advancement in birth control method, the promotion of gender equality, the collapse of the family system, and the practice of artificial insemination. We cannot say all of these are wrong. However, sexual activity tends to make people more conscious of their flesh rather than awaken them as spirits. In this sense, indulging in carnal desire goes against human nature as child of God. And it makes people more susceptible to the influence of the evil spirits of the same nature, right? Under the same wavelength attraction. So the fact that the spirits of the hell of lust exist shows that carnal desire does not accord with God's laws. So we need to control to the modest. All right. So third, the spirits of the hell of villains. These are the spirits of the so-called gangsters, rogues, and the like, or of people who have lost their noble character as children of God and have violent vibrations. As in the saying, like attracts like, they possess violent people. It is the awareness as a child of God and the awareness of their holy mission that will save them. So if you want to avoid the situation to be possessed by the hell of villains, you don't emit the vibration like violent ones. So to attack others, even in your mind only, it attracts this kind of spirits from the hell. So control your anger. The fourth category, the spirits of the hell of beasts. The hell of beasts is the destination of those who lived like animals, who lacked the awareness of human beings, children of God. They do not know love, do not know God, do not understand what is to be human, and are only living on instinct. Sometimes they can appear in a form that could make those with spiritual sight mistakenly see them as real animal spirits, but they are human beings. They are the evil spirits of those who have fallen to the so-called hell of beasts. So if you have the mind like animals, too much greed to eat something every moment, or like that, you will be possessed by them. If it continues forever, you will go to hell like this, right? So please know you have a mission given by God, and then you can avoid the situation, because animals cannot believe the God or love or mission. So under the such law of the same wave attraction, you cannot be possessed by them by believing in the invisible world. So fifth, the spirits of the abysmal hell. This is the deepest place of the hell. The abysmal hell is where misguiding religious leaders, scholars, thinkers, politicians, and others who have led many people astray go after death. So this is difficult to go for the ordinary people. But if you are believers, if you lead people misunderstandingly, you may go to this realm. So please be very careful to teach people by the wrong teaching. Okay. So if they fall into a deeper hell, they will join the group of the so-called devils. So if you teach people, please be very careful about precisely on the right path that Master Hokawa taught us. Welcome, Roland. All right. So the first category of evil spirits includes what is generally called devils and satans. Yeah. So of course, even satans were previously humans. When they lived on earth as human beings, they defied their mission as children of God and then fell to hell. So this is the answer to the question, why hell is existing by God, right? So this is the answer. As they lived in hell for a long time, they gained power as inhabitants of hell and are now actively trying to delude even the people on earth. We are now living in the final days of the Lord's. So this means the time passed 2,000 years from Jesus Christ. The time passed 2,600 years from Buddha. So this modern age has no God's law effectively, right? So we need to update it into this world based on the traditional religions. That is our mission in Happy Science. And the vibrations of heaven and hell are crashing on earth because the right teaching is lost in this world. When the right truth is taught, the guiding spirits who embody God's will are obstructed in many ways from teaching the truth. As you know, the wrong views are surrounding the right people. So it was opposition forces by Satans that tried to obstruct Shakyamuni Buddha's enlightenment and manipulated people to persecute Jesus are so-called Satans. So they are existing. If you don't want to know that, you might be possessed, okay? Because your possession, your evil spirits is telling you this is lie. Yeah, you don't believe it, right? So if you say so, you might be possessed. Please check it. And now, in this current age, devils are trying to hinder my enlightenment, master's enlightenment at the moment, 1984, by inflicting on me various kinds of physical and mental pain. Wow, this is a description of his real experience at the moment, very freshly containing it, and are trying to obstruct my spiritual channeling. So he can channel the spirit world at the same time, but spirit, evil spirit, devils come to him. That means among them are Beelzebub, who appeared in September 1981. That was a time he got great enlightenment. And this was the same being who challenged Jesus Christ, yeah, before his 30 age to spread the truth. And Lucifer, you know, who appeared in October of the same year. So very precise description that was surprising us. And Kakuban, who used to be a monk of esoteric Buddhism, Kakuban first appeared in May 1982 and has been trying me for nearly 2 years now as of May 1984. So that means this is exception for the law of same wavelengths attraction. If you have a great mission, you might be attacked like this. That means God tests you for your mission. And if you overcome it, you will be a great leader. If you fail it, that's it. So the devils, the existence of devils is working this role for you with mission to be awakened. So this world is created this way. This is a mystical point of this world. But anytime in the history, the great figures were enlightened, devils attacked him or her. Yeah, that is fact. So I warn you, if you are in this situation, please be aware of the fact that you have a great mission. So please be aware of the fact. I warn you in advance. Unlike the other spirits in hell, these Satans have a clear intention of proactively obstructing the kingdom of God from being built. However, even they are to be saved at some point in eternal life. Wow, this is the greatest fact. 2. They fell to hell because of the earthly world, not because of the heavenly world. So we can only save them through this earthly world. This is one of our missions. To be more specific, the only ways to save them are to cut off the source of energy that is feeding hell by creating the kingdom of God on earth. If we don't have the excessive greed or anger, foolishness, doubt, conceit, and wrong view, there's no hell. But due to our 6 delusions like that, I said, hell was created. People, humans, created the hell, not God. Remember it. So hell was created not by God, but by human beings who have been using earth as a place of spiritual training through repeated reincarnations over a long time, hundreds of millions of years ago. Hell was created based on the law of retributive justice, the famous law that states, as you sow, so shall you reap. Okay. Hell is like a hospital in this sense, in the spirit world. This is a merciful perspective that human happy science teaches. The patients, they are the sick souls. Some people may ask why God just leaves evil spirits as they are, or why God does not just burn them in the hellfire. Yeah, sometimes people come up with this idea. But I want to ask these people, are you saying that the sick are no longer human? If human beings mean healthy people, then a sick person may not be called a human being in reality. However, this is not the case. Everyone can get sick, even if a person gets sick because of their carelessness or some external cause. We try to save the sick, don't we? Evil spirits are souls that are suffering from illness. The reason why God is patiently waiting for them to get back on their feet is the same as why we pray for the recovery of the sick. The reason why God allows them to exist is the same as why we approve for the sick to live. The first characteristic, this was written in the evening of May 14th. You can see it. The previous part, he was writing in the morning of May 14th. So I researched 1984, May 14th was Monday. So he is working on that day. So before going to work, he woke up early in the morning, 5:45. So until 7, he was writing it. And after coming back from the company, he was writing it in the evening of May 14th. Can you imagine that? Before going to work and after coming back from work. Can you write this kind of things? Yeah. So this book shows you how you discipline yourself. Yeah. So imagine you work in the trading house, very fast and busy place. Yeah. So this is a model for us to be angels. Yeah. The first characteristic they have in common, they means evil spirits. This is a very important part of this chapter. The characteristic is the lack of love. Yeah, regarding love. So evil spirit is a being of the lack of love. Yeah, they do not know how wonderful love is. They do not know the real meaning of truly thinking about others in their shoes, truly acting for others, being truly kind to others, or truly serving others. And more many descriptions in it, I omitted. So please read again the chapter 5. Yeah, regarding love, you can understand the evil spirits are those who lacked love at the moment. Yeah, they want love more and taking from others. Yeah. So evil spirits suffer because they try to live while going against this gravitation of love. That is a universal law. Make people unite, right? Because they try to defy this law of the universe, as a reaction, they meet with consequences that make them suffer. Like in jail, they are confined alone, like in the hell, right? Okay, so in this sense, the lack of love also means ignorance of the law. Yeah, that means they don't know the law of the universe, the law of God. The second common characteristic of evil spirits is that they are ignorant of the law of reincarnation, especially. Human beings are living an eternal life given by God, and I dare say Christianity had it, but was omitted it. So you can believe it as Jesus Christ's teaching, reincarnation, I mean. Most evil spirits are obsessed with the feelings that make them say, I wanted to enjoy physical life more, or I didn't want to die. You can see these people around you. That is a dangerous situation because they stick to this life, forgetting the other world. However, they do not know the truth. Human beings can never die. Even if they wanted to, they can never die forever. Just as planet Earth continues to revolve around the sun, human life goes back and forth forever between the real world and this phenomenal world, while constantly changing its phases down to earth and up above to the heaven. The repeated tree changes its phases, right? So human beings are life forms that are born on earth in the cycle of every tens of years, hundreds of years, or thousands of years, depending on the person, average 300 years each. That is reincarnated between heaven and earth. So you may be reborn from the 300 years ago to this lifetime. And then the person who lived 300 years ago will be your guardian spirit right now. Yeah. So the third common characteristic of evil spirits is that they do not have the correct outlook on the world. So they do not know the system of the world. They do not understand the difference between this third dimensional phenomenal world and the multi-dimensional real world, extending from the fourth dimension and beyond. like this. Okay, so that is why they get lost after they die in this third dimensional world. We undergo spiritual training in our physical bodies, and the multidimensional world extends from the fourth dimensional world. It's the world of spirits, including hell and heaven. Both are in spirit world. Like this. So we are on the third dimensional world. After fourth dimensional world are spirit world. And in fourth dimensional world is a part of hell. Okay. Right. So you can see like this. You can go up to the stairs of the stages of love that you learned at the previous service, from the instinctive love that is like animals' love, who preserve themselves, their bodies, their lives on earth, towards fundamental love. The love is thinking about others, not thinking of yourself, yeah, without wanting any rewards. Then nurturing love is worked in your workplace, especially. You are surrounded by the people. To love others, you need wisdom. Yeah. So at this moment, there is a pitfall to criticize the people around you because you are very wiser than the others surrounding you. So you should not criticize too much others in this realm. Otherwise, you will go back to the previous stage. And if you go up to the stage, to the seventh dimensional world, to be an angel, you need forgiveness. This is the black belt between 6 and 7. There's a wall, thick wall to break through. You need discipline every day, like Master Ihokawa is doing in this book, Contemplative Life, about love. Yeah, you reflect on yourself in regards with love that we are learning now, right? So the conclusion of the first half, okay, on the salvation of evil spirits 3, the fourth common characteristic of evil spirit is that they do not know they are children of God. The proof that human beings are children of God is that all people have the ability to love and to be loved. That all people have a conscience and cannot lie to themselves, although they may lie to others. And that all people innately know the true nature of what is good. The awareness of being a child of God will present an evil spirit with a moment to return to its true self. So if you are in hell, I don't wish, but if you are in the situation, please remind yourself of being child of God. Yeah, I don't think you are in the situation. Okay, so let's listen to Master's lecture for 5 minutes about possession.
Through actual practice of self-reflection, I would like everyone to experience the mystical world of the mind. After reaching a certain level, you will feel the stray spirits, who have been attached to you for many years, suddenly peel away. You may think that stray spirits do not have any physical weight, but the truth is that they feel heavy to the soul. Some people have been possessed by a spirit for 5, 10, or even 20 years. Some of them inherited spirits from their parents and have been carrying them unwittingly since childhood. Although a spirit may have no weight in this world, to the spiritual senses it's heavy. The existing spirit can be removed through self-reflection. When it leaves your shoulders, your back and spine will feel lighter. It'll be as if you've laid down a heavy load. Your cheeks will glow and a warm light will enter your chest. This is something that I want you to experience. It's a spiritual experience everyone can have. People who suffered through great problems before knowing the truth should have already experienced the phenomenon of possession.
If not,
they would not have suffered so much. They suffer because they are possessed. They are influenced by a spirit that feels pleasure from their suffering, trying to drag them down to hell. It is extremely exhilarating to cast these spirits aside. You feel refreshed. Your cheeks flush, your pulse becomes lighter, your whole body seems to float. It feels as if you had not bathed for 10 years and you finally took a bath and washed away all the dirt.
it's a
spiritual experience that can be enjoyed without any risk. You may experience this in the midst of self-reflection, or while reading one of my books. It may happen while you are attending a seminar or ritual ceremony at a meditation center of our institute. Suddenly you will feel something break away from you. It's impossible to say when this will happen. But if you continue your activities in our institute, the opportunity will present itself. Always bearing this fact in mind, I construct the laws of the truth, prepare seminars and rituals, and instruct lecturers. When this opportunity presents itself, I'm sure it will change your life. If something negative is possessing you, you must first remove it. Otherwise, your guardian spirit cannot contact you. People under negative spiritual influences will find it impossible to enter a local temple of our institute, even if they are invited. A relative might become involved in an accident, or a family member may stop them. Or they may approach the building only to do a U-turn and return home. This happens because a stray spirit prevents them entering a building of happy science. The spirit knows if they become a believer, all the mischief it has done may be revealed, and it will no longer be able to possess them. If a person receives the Gohonzon and sets up an altar in a house, the spirit feels as if they were under constant scrutiny. As the person recites our basic sutra, the Dharma of the right mind, the spirit will think, if this man intends to do this forever, I think our relationship has lasted long enough. In this sense, a regular practice of spiritual discipline is very important. It's no good just practicing occasionally. As the person recites the Dharma before the altar every day, practices self-reflection and prays, a light will begin to shine until, eventually, the spirit will be forced to leave. In the beginning, the stray spirit comes back and forth, trying to hinder and harass. For instance, if a married man becomes a believer and his wife opposes, the spirit moves into the wife and tries to interfere. It will make her say, I don't want you to take part in these activities. Next Sunday you should stay home, do some weeding in the garden. This shows that the spirit has moved to your partner. However, its interference will gradually get weaker. First, you must remove your own, and then create a strong field of light in your home by conveying the truth to your partner and children. Eventually, the stray spirit will be unable to remain there. Although this work is invisible, it is a spiritual work I perform every day through the Gohonzon. Spiritually, I work 365 days a year without a break. It's an endless battle against stray spirits. This is why I would like you to believe. If you believe, the light will shine forth and fight against these spirits. Stray spirits are actually pitiful. They used to be people just like you. So first we have to stop their wrong deeds and make them reflect upon what they have done. It is my prayer that the stray spirits will also begin self-reflection after seeing the living person reflect on oneself.
All right. So the key to prevent yourself from being possessed is, what is it? One word. Yes. reflection. If you start self-reflection, the possession will be removed. Start remove. So please remember it. At the same time, the Gohon zone that you have is working for you to connect to Master Ihokawa himself. He is shedding light to the world, even it's in the other countries, but it's connected. If you believe so, the light will shine upon you through your heart, believing heart. Okay, the latter half is shorter than the first half. I believe so, but it's important. All right, are you ready? I'm not so ready because I couldn't sleep well last night. But let's go. Love and the philosophy of happiness. Right? It's gonna be the like I said, the theory of gravitation by Newton, or the law of relativity by Einstein, like that. And then this is a similar with time and space by Heidegger in Germany, the highest philosophy in the human history. I believe this is beyond that. Written in his 1984, his age 23 or 4. Huh? No, 28. Yeah. Yes, 28. So he reached out the highest mountain in the human history of his age 28. And after that, he became a religious leader. The teaching became more simpler and plain because he focused on explaining it, not creating it. But this is a moment he created his own idea on existence and time and love. Yeah, that is never seen before and in the future, I believe. Let's go. Abstract on the philosophy of happiness regarding recognition and expression, January 21st, 1984. So many, in addition to that, this was written in the same time of the creation of developmental stages of love by the time he wrote, right? Okay, so many thinkers, so those are connected. Many thinkers and religious leaders have said that happiness is found within ourselves. The first step to happiness is to recognize that happiness comes depending on our mental attitude, and that it will disappear as soon as our mental attitude is distorted. The second step to happiness is to recognize that if our mental attitude changes, the external matters that surround us, even the material environment, will also change. So remember, this is the miracle that you can feel in happy science. Not like healing illness, not like forecast the future, not like that. You should think this is the greatest moment in happy science as a miracle. You can change your mind, you can change your external things by changing your mind. It's connected. If you can see it, you are very aware. Yes. Truly, people with a wealthy heart will be blessed with a wealthy environment. However, both are not assured at this point. This is because recognition is changeable and fleeting. as long as it remains only as a recognition. To engrave our recognitions onto the memory balls of our minds, we definitely need to express these recognitions. Okay? So strangely enough, even though we need to express ourselves to confirm our recognition of being happy, it is through our expressions that we can better recognize our happiness. Here, we come to discover the three elements: recognition, mental attitude, and expression form a cycle to create a magnetic field called happiness, like this. So if you have a recognition about happiness, like your mental attitudes decide your happiness, and if you express it, that will be concrete more. And the cycle of happiness is going enlarged. Like your recognition about happiness is more confirmed to the next cycle. Your mental attitude towards happiness will be confirmed, and then you express the attitude concretely, and you believe it's true, and your recognition is stronger, right? And then your mental attitude is more confirmed, like that. This cycle makes your happiness stronger. So know about that. Those who wish to live, this is next poem, Happiness and Time. So out of 3 poems in the chapter, those who wish to live happily must not disregard the first and most basic principle. We exist within time, which flows throughout the magnificent space of heaven and earth. This is the first principle. We exist within time. From the perspective of time, the happiness will be explained. Let's go to the next. All love, all hatred, all hope, and all despair will be floating and sinking as they are washed down the great flow of time. In other words, time is alive, and as long as it is alive, it can move into the past or into the future. Don't you agree? So this is a second principle of time. Time is reversible. Time is reversible. Yeah. Think about it. Isn't it true that ripples caused by a pebble thrown into the pond of time that has already passed can affect you who are living in the present as well as you who will live in the future? Isn't it true that the pebble of happiness or unhappiness to be thrown in the future is causing ripples affecting you in the present or in the past? If the person continues to agonize over the mistake, believing there is nothing they can do about it, an inchworm called time will stick to that point in the past and will not move an inch at such times, no matter how much time as measured by a clock goes by. The person is not living in the present, nor will they live in the future, but is living at the point of time in the past. You see? Okay. The third principle is that time is a relation to happiness is unique to each individual because it is entirely up to each person's mental inclination to decide which way the inchworm of time will move, present or past or future. The first principle is that the primary concern of each individual will affect their time regarding happiness. In other words, whether a person lives in the past, the future, or the present is determined by their primary concern or by what matters most to them. As stated above, we have 4 principles regarding happiness and time. The first principle is that all the factors affecting happiness are in the flow of time. All the factors in the flow of time, okay? The second is the time concerning happiness is reversible, all right? It can flow from the present to the past and from the past to the future. The third is that time concerning happiness is unique to and dependent on each individual. And the fourth is that the primary concern of each person determines their time regarding happiness. Okay, based on these 4 principles, you can go like this. You can find your major concern in the bright future events and live in that time, or you can live in a golden time of the past. The past, present, and future are a single point in our minds. They are just one point. Time becomes a single point when contracted and infinite when expanded. This is the true nature of time. You can see the relationship between our mind and time. Now, even unhappiness that seems to linger from the past into the future can be contracted into a single point in the great flow of time by your power of the mind. Okay. On the other hand, the events that bring you happiness are also a single point in the flow of time, right? The past, present, and future are a single point. They are a single point when contracted and infinite when expanded. In a nutshell, in regards with your control of your mind, he can say, adjust the flow of time yourself by confining unhappiness to a single point while expanding happiness to infinity. There you will find the path to happiness, okay? Your memory will be controlled by your own will. So you can make your unhappiness in the past to a smallest one, and you can expand your happiness in the past or in the future will be greater than now. That's due to your control of your mind, okay? You can control your happiness and unhappiness right now. All right, so the last one, existence and love, August 4th, 1984. If what we can see with our eyes and touch with our hands is real, then what about the things we see and touch in our dreams? Can we recognize the things in our dreams as existence? How do we know that the time we commonly share when we are awake is not time in a dream from the perspective of a higher dimension? I think what makes existence existence is an idea. Everything we perceive as existing is the manifestation of an idea, right? If we define existence as the manifestation of a particular idea, can we also recognize spiritual matters, not material things, as existence? The question is whether spiritual matters have the form to be objectively recognized as existences. If spiritual matters are given the form to be recognized as objectively as we recognize stones as existences by hearing the word stone, then I believe spiritual matters can also be recognized as existences, okay? Love, in this embodies a specific idea, when the word love was born, it surely became an existence as an idea. Do we get warm feelings because we were taught that loving others makes us feel that way? I don't think so. It is when we get the warm feelings that we feel for the first time, this is love. We innately know that what love is without being taught. When we love someone, we feel the urge to be close to that person. But is this because we have been taught that this happens when we love someone? I don't believe so. When we love someone, a gravitation-like magnetic field is always produced from our mind naturally. Isn't it this form, this universal, timeless form that always occurs, what we call love? From the points above, I have come to a conclusion. Love is an existence because it is a manifestation of a particular idea and because it has a form to be objectively recognized. Love is an existence. Not only that, love is an existence that is universally recognized, transcending time and place. That's it. Thank you so much for joining today's service. All right, so yeah, maybe at least you grasp the idea, what he taught in this book. Review it in this book and remind yourself of love repeatedly in your lifetime, he says, in the course of your life. All right, let's move on to the Kigan Memorial Service for the ancestors. Lord Alcantara, Master Yuhokawa, the primordial Buddha of the great universe, the supreme God of the earth and God of love, who also created space people. Thank you deeply for granting this opportunity to send our love to our ancestors from Kauai Temple, the place of love. We dedicate our sincere gratitude to you and pledge to live with you and with love that you taught today as a model for the next generations and the next civilizations. Kazuyo Sugiyama, Sugiyama ke Senzo, Yasuko Amano, to Golden Lao, Kazue Akogi, to Terada family ancestors, Chie Fukuhara, to Fukuhara family ancestors. Peter Fukao, to the Torazawa family ancestors. Buddha's teaching, Sutra for our ancestors. 仏説願文先祖供養経 All souls who have left the earth, listen. Buddha has been reborn. Buddha's power is great. He saves you all with infinite light. You must make amends for your previous lives and become devoted to Buddha. Ask for his forgiveness. Buddha has preached to you the fourfold path, the principles of love, wisdom, self-reflection, and progress. Love is to love others, helping others with no thought of return. Love that gives means to love without wanting any reward. It is a true mercy of bodhisattvas. Wisdom is to have knowledge of the other world. Now you have no physical body. It is a wonder that you still have life. If you had been wise enough while on earth to know the secrets of reincarnation, the difference between this world and the other world, and the distinction between heaven and hell, you would not have lived a life of delusion. You would not have done wrong. Therefore, self-reflection is essential. On earth, you have attached to things and lived a life of endless desire for property, for money, and lust, desire for drink, for gambling, for promotion and fame. So too, your life was filled with complaint and discontent, jealousy, doubt, deceit, death, violence, and the poison of anger. With all this, who else would go to hell if not you? You must thoroughly reflect on your past thoughts and deeds and ask for Buddha's forgiveness. Moreover, there is a teaching of progress. Ask yourself, did you do anything useful for the world? Did you do anything for the happiness of others? Did you make an effort to improve yourself without causing trouble for others? While you were alive on earth, did you endeavor to build an utopia, an ideal world? Did you build a land of Buddha on earth, wishing for the happiness of others? And are you sure that you never interfered with the spiritual training of bodhisattvas? All souls who have left the earth, listen. It is time for you to devote yourself to Buddha, to his Dharma, and to his Sangha. Through the practice of the fourfold path, climb the stairway to enlightenment and enter the land of light. 地上を最たる諸々の書類をブッダは最短せり。ブッダの力は偉大なり。無限の光で救うなり。汝ら全生を悔い改め、ブッダのもとに帰依すべし。 ブッダの許しを受けるべし。ブッダナンジラを諭しては、四衝動を解きたも。愛、知、反省、発展は、これ四衝動の原理なり。愛とは他人を愛すること。見返りもなく尽くすこと。与える愛とは無償の愛。菩薩の慈悲に他ならず。人はあの世の知識なり、何ら肉体すでになく、命あるこそ不思議なり。されど生前に知恵ありて、生まれ変わりの秘密知り、この世とあの世の違い知り、天国地獄の差を知れば、迷いの人生なかりけり、罪を犯しはせぬ者を、故に反省が必要なり。地上で物にとらわれて、物質欲、金銭欲、色欲、主欲、賭博欲、出世欲に名誉欲、欲また欲の人生なり。さらには愚痴に不平不満、嫉妬疑い人騙し、盗み暴力怒りの毒。これで地獄に落ちぬなら、地獄に行く人なかりけり、何時らよくよく反省し、ブッダに許しを願うべし。さらに発展の教えとは、何時ら生前世の中の役に立ちたることありや、人に迷惑かけずして、己を伸ばし人々の幸福増進に尽くしたか、理想郷ユートピアの建設に努力の汗を流したか、多くの人の幸福を願いて地上仏国土建設の夢果たしたか、よもや諸菩薩の精進を邪魔立てしたことなかりしか。地上を去りたる諸々の書類を今こそブッダに帰依し、ブッダの方に帰依し、ブッダサンガに帰依すべし。四衝動を実践し、悟りの道を登るべし。光の国に至るべし。Lord Akantare, the primordial Buddha of the great universe. Thank you for guiding our ancestors, even in the spirit world, for them to be working on a path to Lord Akantare as the children of God, children of Buddha. Now, let us take a moment to give our sincere gratitude to you and our ancestors. Thank you, Lord, for your guidance. And now we'll move on for the ceremony for Thai to give him blessings. So please come on. Step forward. And then I'll ask you the 3 questions like I read. If you go on the path to Buddha Lord Kantare, you need to promise devotion to 3 treasures. So first is devotion to Buddha, the Lord Kantare. The second, devotion to the law. And the third, devotion to Sangha, the group of happy signs. And then these are called 3 treasures that is protecting this earth as a spiritual training ground. That is the most important things on earth and the heavenly world. So let me ask you first, do you promise devotion to Buddha? Do you promise devotion to the Dharma teaching? Do you promise devotion to the Sangha? Do you promise devotion to the 3 treasures, Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha? Congratulations. Thank you, Lord Kantare, for granting us this precious opportunity to become devotee to you. In this moment, we thank you for Thai's guardian spirit who has been watching over him from his birth until his death. You guided him on the right path to reach out Lord Kantare in this lifetime. We dedicate our sincere gratitude to the Lord. Thank you, and may the blessing of the Lord always be with him. Thank you. Richard. Okay, thank you so much for joining today's service. Thank you so much. See you next week. Aloha. People online.